And there's a great new product here at SMR that you should hear all about. It was launched yesterday during the lunch break, and in a minute we're going to have some first SMR members who had a chance to experiment with Anna. If you know what Anna is all about, have a look.
What if ESMR could offer its members a cutting-edge technology to help its community, clients and partners succeed in the field of market research? As the leading global association in market, social and opinion research, the industry counts on ESMR to provide the necessary tools to help all its members, be they clients, suppliers, consultants or academics, all across the world. So I'd like you to meet Anna. Anna is the first artificially intelligent market research tool that provides access to knowledge in just one click. She's a cognitive learning tool, constantly compiling unstructured market research data into immediate, more relevant results and suggested answers to ESMR members. Anna is learning every day, learning to understand market research related terminology, and is processing complex data with the click of a button. Her intelligence comes from ESMR's body of knowledge, consisting of more than 7,500 documents spanning 70 years of papers, webinars, books, reports, codes, and guidelines. In the future, we will connect Anna to additional external market research databases, Wikipedia, social media feeds, and lots more. Currently, Anna is available in beta form on your desktop or on the go via smartphone or tablet as an ESMR member-only benefit. So log in to My ESMR and meet Anna. She will respond to your query based on a best fit answer derived from market research themes, concepts, subjects, and even events. So what are you waiting for? Log into your My ESMR account to meet, try, test, and teach Anna.
Meet Anna. This was your first encounter with Anna. Is SMR introducing artificial intelligence into the market research industry? And who better to explain a little bit more about that than our Director General himself? Here he's back again, Finn Raven. Thanks for being with us.
Not at all.
But you're not alone.
No.
Because you brought back Elena Albright. Here you are again. Thank you for being with us again. And Christopher Farquhar,
Yeah.
do I say that properly?
Yes.
From Chimigo in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, right?
Okay. You guys have been testing Anna yesterday here on site, but before we hear your experiences, Finn, can you elaborate a little bit on the background of the project, the why?
Yeah, well, no, with pleasure. I mean, we've been sitting on a bank of information and data that spans 70 years. You know, guys have been writing papers for conferences, we've been doing webinars, and now we're obviously producing stuff on video. And we kind of thought, how do we use this more? How do we try and get more value out of it, not just for us, but for our members, for the profession, for the industry? And so we were kind of brainstorming this a couple of months back, and a gentleman called Tom Van Arman, who's been working with us, said, well, look, actually, we can probably create like a cognitive learning tool based on the IBM Watson principle that would be able to go through all of that data and start to draw out benefits for the members. And so that's what we started.
And I've learned this project has a long roadmap. You just had your first closed beta release.
Yes.
Elena, first experience, what does it do from your perspective? You don't have to be complete. What did you see it do?
Well, it's a knowledge base, and searching by word, it brings up papers from different years. And I found it very relevant. I searched deliberately for a paper from 1995. It showed up. So further on, and what I liked a lot was the graphs. Did you play with the graphs?
I didn't get a chance to yet, but looking forward to that.
Tell us about the graphs. What is happening with graphs?
Graph is a visualization of the relationship between the paper you've probably brought up on screen and other papers with a similar topic. And I just played with the graphs and clicked here and there, and it was really bringing papers that I read, and they're really, really relevant and connected.
You could validate that it was right? It's some kind of a network mapping, right? That guides you through the content.
Yeah.
All right.
And there is this slider that you give an estimate how relevant it is,
Yes.
and that updates based on usage.
Yeah, for the people who've not seen it, it's right next to the search result. There's a slider to
Yes,
determine how good the result was.
Yeah, on the right side of the screen.
And Christopher, what was your experience?
Unfortunately, I haven't had long enough to play with it yet, and what I would say is it's particularly impressive that SMR's been able to create this in such a short amount of time. I think it was just in Tokyo at APAC that Finn told us that this was coming, and so it's quite amazing to think that it's here so soon at Congress. Obviously, there's more work to be done, and the team will be working on that, but it's just really impressive, and I think it's one of those great benefits, particularly for younger researchers around the world who can then are now able to access into this wealth of information that's out there. That if you're not able to come to Congress, you're still able to learn.
Dive into it and
yeah.
save yourself some time,
Right.
because you're exactly on the right topic.
Right.
Hey, and Finn, you mentioned cognitive learning. What is Anna learning?
Well, she's learning about market research. I'm not quite sure, should I be, is it a person, is it a machine? But it's learning all the time. And as Elena was saying, when you look at the connections that it's making now, it's making connections based on a very limited knowledge of terms and search words, et cetera, et cetera. So the more we use that slider bar to see how relevant was the search that came back, or the answers that it gave us, it will learn again, okay, so what are the relations that are more important, which are the ones that are stronger, or that link more strongly to the requests that are being put in. So all of that it's processing all of the time. And ultimately, we'd hope that it could become something where you say, look, is there a particular piece of research that helped in innovation, or is there a particular piece of research that helped set up companies? And it will develop all, hopefully right down that paradigm, if you like.
And so the slider next to the results is part of the teaching process.
Correct.
But is it envisioned that will always be there, or is that just now for the first testing users to actually teach it?
It will stay there, because
Okay.
clearly, after this Congress is over, we're going to put all of the papers from this Congress into Anna. And so each conference that we run, every time we have a webinar, we'll continue to put that data into Anna. And the original digitization of whatever it was, nearly 8,000 documents, took nearly 2.5 weeks just to get all the sheets of paper put through a digitizer.
Yeah, because I learned you actually scanned in the old papers
Yes.
as well, who weren't available digital, right?
Correct.
Okay, so everything is in there.
Everything is in there. So watch out. Big Brother's watching you.
Now, Elena, where do you see applications for this? How would you use this in your agency, for example?
In my agency, it's difficult to say, but I can tell you how we're going to use it in my country, because I represent BAMOR, the Bulgarian Marketing Research Association. And there is a huge disconnect between the companies that come to the Congress, and basically we tap into the new knowledge, new methods, what's happening in the industry, while there is 50% of the companies in my country still do face-to-face market research, and basically practically use methods 40 years old, and they don't buy the papers, they don't come to congresses, and the disconnect is just growing, and then they feel we are going out of business. But it's natural, you will go out of business if you don't innovate, but at least learn. And this is...
So this is a great tool for you as a national association
Yes,
to actually
yes,
professional in your
yes,
own country and,
yes.
and create educational programs.
Yes, and I think for corporate members, this is just another huge benefit, because research companies or clients who become corporate members, basically all their staff will have access to ANA.
Christopher, do you see any additional applications of this?
I think, as I mentioned before, I think it's going to be a great benefit for younger researchers to tap into
To catch up.
To catch up. I think it also just elevates the standing of our profession as well, allowing us, as you said, to corporate members, but allowing us to sort of showcase that there's an enormous amount of great learning, great knowledge that's out there, and we can now, it's all been digitized, and now we can access it. So that we should all be proud of that.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing your first fresh, hot out of the kitchen experiences. Finn, you're in closed beta. That means you need test users, specifically
Yes.
SMR members.
Yes.
If people are watching this and they find this interesting, where can they start to sign up or contribute? Where do you want them to go?
Well, the short answer is, if you're interested in helping us to teach Anna more about market research, please drop us an email either to membership@esmr.org or indeed to me personally, finn.radman@esmr.org. and we'll happily get you on the roster of the testers. What Anna has learned from so far is from a very small group of people. So we do need to spread it out to other users, to other researchers, to understand what they're looking for in the search engine, the kind of connections that they're making or looking for in the data, so that Anna can learn all the time.
You want to add something? Oh, you have a question, yes.
I didn't find on the beta version that we tested, I didn't see the place that how to send the feedback to you. Is it going to be by email, or are you going to add
You
a
need
link?
a feedback form.
Yeah, not a feedback form, a feedback link.
So we'll be in contact separately to the usage of Anna around the feedback. What we need to teach Anna first are, simple things like, in English it's petrol, in American it's gas. So, we need to teach Anna those kinds of connections, but we also need to make sure that, for example, mobile is the same as cell phone. And, in understanding not only the differences in culture and language, but also the stuff that's being used and spoken about within the research community itself. And once that's done, we'll have a direct feedback system with all the users, so that hopefully we get not only the technical feedback into Anna, but also the user feedback to say, oh, it took me too long to get from this screen to that screen, or whatever.
Improve the user
Yep,
interface.
Exactly.
Okay, nice. Well, I think that's a great little piece, and I hope that invites you and it sparks you to actually become involved in the Anna project, right?
Please.